I'm Dr. Swarupa Kakani, consultant dietitian with Cloud Physician Healthcare. Today we are talking about healthy eating pattern and how it is important to our health. Good nutrition plays a major role in helping us to lead a healthy lifestyle which promote overall health and well-being. An healthy eating pattern is to see the diet contains whole grains with good fiber and carbohydrate, required amount of protein, healthy fats, and more fruits and vegetables and proper hydration to the body are important, along with regular timings and early dinner and good sleep and required physical activity. And if you see, the principles of healthy diet are adequacy, balance, nutrient density, and moderation and variety, and having a plan into an action for long time good health. And what we eat healthy and help us to maintain healthy weight and reduce risk of lifestyle diseases and promote overall health and well-being. And a nutritious and well-balanced diet can boost immune system and make us feel healthy. And eating healthy is setting ourselves for a success in achieving and maintaining good health. Good health is a true health.
Hello everyone, this is Sushma Guma, holistic nutritionist, founder of online nutrition and diet consultancy NourishyaWellness.com. On the occasion of National Nutrition Month, I am here to talk on my top 5 favorite superfoods. So number 1 on my list is wheatgrass. So wheatgrass is made from the sprouted leaves of wheat plant. It is loaded with health benefits. It has good amounts of iron, calcium, magnesium and also chlorophyll. Number 2 on my list is cinnamon. So cinnamon is known to keep your blood glucose levels and also cholesterol levels under control. And girls, if you are suffering with PMS symptoms, don't forget to include and sprinkle little amount of cinnamon powder over your smoothies or on your fruit, or you can just mix it with your yogurt or buttermilk. Number 3 on my list is coconut and coconut oil. So this has good amounts of medium chain triglycerides. So these are good kind of fats. So if you want your skin and your hair healthy, and if you want to keep your gut healthy, that is your intestines healthy, don't forget to include good sourcing of raw extra virgin coconut oil in your daily diet. Number 4 on my list is almonds, that is our badam. It has good amounts of vitamin E, protein, and most importantly, it has good amounts of non-dairy calcium. But not to forget, it is a bit high on calories, so keep your portion size under control. Number 5 on my list is flax seeds. So flax seeds are loaded with heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids, also known to improve our brain functioning capacity, and research also shows that it also helps in preventing several types of cancers. So I hope this video is helpful to you all. Do share it with your loved ones. Eat right and be bright.
Hello, my name is Namrita Pramod and today I'm going to talk about supersized food. Yes, you heard it right. It is supersized food. By the dictionary meaning, supersized food means something that is increased in quantity to a greater extent. So what is the association that I'm talking about supersized foods today? When we look at obesity, it is a very big challenge that we are facing, especially childhood obesity, which is taken a lead, and India is the second largest country with childhood obesity. So whom are we to blame for the obesity that we are facing? Yesterday it was fat and today it is sugar and tomorrow it will be something else. But the actual basics lies in the lifestyle changes and also the food portions that have increased over a period of time. This is something we call as portion distortion, where a person assumes the portion that is served is the new normal. To give you an example, the restaurant serves a portion which can easily suffice 2 to 3 people, but a single person ends up consuming the whole thing. So when we talk about portion distortion, always remember to understand your portion size. A portion is something that you can eat and a serving size which is actually required for you. For example, burger, which comes as a meal, can suffice 2 people along with the fries and the soft drink, but it is usually completed by a single person. Portion distortion can also be explained in terms of Indian food like a chana bhatura. The bhatura used to be 2 small pieces and now it occupies the whole plate. FSSAI has come up with a new initiative called as Aaj Se Thoda Kam, where we emphasize on reducing the sugar, salt and fat that we consume on a daily basis. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sunita Rao, clinical nutritionist. I'm here to talk about kitchen gardens and easy access to good nutrition. September is the National Nutrition Month, and this year the focus is on plantation of kitchen gardens, that is Poshan ke liye paudhe. September is also an ideal season for growing fruits and vegetables in most parts of India. Most herbs, greens, and microgreens can be grown in small spaces like backyards or balconies or rooftops, like ginger, herbs like basil or ajwain or turmeric and ginger roots can be grown in small pots and can be used fresh for boosting immunity and health. Microgreens, which are tiny edible vegetable greens, can be easily grown and harvested within weeks. Coriander, mustard, methi, beets, green gram, and cabbage can be grown as microgreens, and these are generally harvested when the plant is 1 to 3 inches in length and has developed a pair of true leaves. These are 5 times nutrient dense compared to the mature plants. They're very flavorful and colorful. They can be used in salads, sandwiches, soups, and curries. So start growing your herbs, greens, and microgreens in your kitchen garden. Your kitchen garden has to be your access to good health. Thank you.
Namaste, I am Kala Pegadraju, certified yoga trainer from Ayush Ministry. Yoga means union. It's a perfect harmony between body and mind. Yoga has so many benefits. Through asanas practice, we can increase our flexibility, we can strengthen our immune system, and also we can reduce our weight. Some of asanas I can recommend for you so that you can practice on a daily basis. Tadasana, Trikonasana, Setubandhasana, Bhujangasana, cat-cow poses. So these are all easy asanas you can practice on your own. Pranayama and breathing techniques. Through pranayama practice, we can increase our lungs capacity so that we can take a huge amount of oxygen. Some pranayama practices like Anuloma Viloma, this practice balances our nervous system. And Ujjayi pranayama stimulates our thyroid gland. Bhramari and Sitalikarana pranayama calms our mind and cools our body. Meditation. Meditation is a great technique to reduce our stress levels and increase the concentration levels, and also lowers the blood pressure. We can feel and we can experience the real calm, peace and stillness through this meditation practice. And meditation has a great power to increase our memory power. And also it has a great power to control our 5 senses. And also we can experience true wisdom power. Find some time to practice yoga either in the morning or in the evening, but maintain the same time and practice daily to get more benefits through yoga practice. Stay safe, stay fit, stay healthy. Thank you.
Namaskara, I am Akshita N, dietitian. This nutrition month, don't just pledge to eat right, but also pledge to do 1 hour of physical activity. India is famous for yoga. Thus, 45 minutes to 1 hour of physical activity every day will help boost your immunity, it boosts your metabolism, it makes your performance better, not just physically, but also mentally, and it improves immunity. It also has other benefits like weight reduction, help in curbing glucose levels in the blood by reducing the blood sugar levels. It also helps in hypertension and cardiovascular diseases. Thus, practice 1 hour of physical activity every day. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Seema, nutritionist and a dietitian. I'm here to talk about an important component of our lifestyle, that is sleep. Sleep and a nutritional status is very closely interlinked. This is all because of the hormonal changes that occurs during sleep. Sleep helps to remove toxins from the body, helps to improve the concentration, reduces the stress, and also controls the blood glucose and the blood pressure.
Vitamin and mineral deficiency, overweight is closely linked to lack of sleep. Lack of sleep slows down the body's metabolism. This results in weight gain. It further leads to many more health risks such as diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attack, heart failure, stroke. Hence, it is important to get good quality sleep every day. Some of the tips that we can follow are: you need to have a fixed time to sleep, fixed time to wake up. Avoid napping during the day hours. Avoid coffee, tea, alcohol beverages 5 to 6 hours before the sleep time. Avoid aerated drinks as well. Exercise every day, at least 60 minutes totally. Take warm water bath before going to bed. You can also practice meditation techniques like left nostril breathing or 4-6-8 breathing just before going to bed. Having an early and a light dinner is very beneficial. You can also include some healthy snacks before going to bed, like some soaked raisins or cashews. You can have chamomile tea, Bach flower remedy, or turmeric milk. Having a good quality sleep is as important as diet, exercise, or water intake. Try to get at least 7 to 8 hours sleep every day. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Asha IS, proprietress of Logging Health Services, focusing mainly on food safety and nutrition. I will be briefing on safe food handling techniques now. What is food safety? Food safety is a scientific way of handling, preparing and storing of food so as to prevent the contamination and foodborne illnesses. Hence, 4 basic principles has to be followed here: clean, separate, chill and cook. First one is cleaning. Cleaning is very important when it comes to the kitchen area or a food preparation area. Unclean, this could spread from the untidy hands, knives, spoons, kitchen counters, fridge, etc. Follow clean as you go policy. Discard the garbage before overflowing. Remove unwanted or unused materials from your kitchen area. Second one is separate. Handle raw or cooked or processed food separately in different containers or vessels, the chopping boards or different dishcloths. Third one is cook. Cooking method and temperature also plays a very important role to prevent the microbial growth in the finished products. Hence, ideal temperature should be between 60 to 75 degrees Celsius. Keep hot foods hot. Last one is chill. Microbes grow faster the temperature between 5 to 60 degrees Celsius. Hence, freezing temperature should be below minus 18 degrees Celsius and chilling temperature below 5 degrees Celsius. Chilling is one of the most effective way to hinder the microbial growth. Keep cold foods cold. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Aparna Nagendra. I am a senior dietitian and a consultant nutritionist. Today I will be talking about our environment in relation to food wastage. We always talk about our environment in relation to ozone depletion, ecological loss, climatic changes and so on. We already know about soil pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, air pollution and all. But do we know about food pollution? So what exactly is food pollution? According to me, I would classify it into 2 categories. One is the food adulteration. The second one would be food wastage. So where does this food wastage occur from? This is mainly because usually what the food that we waste, which is going into the dump yard and of no use to anyone. And this is happening when there is no food to eat for so many people and they are going hungry. 870 million people throughout the world are hungry, and in fact in India alone about 14.5% of the population are undernourished. Children below 5 years are stunted and many of them are dying just because of smaller symptoms like fever and diarrhea. What do we have to say about this? I would say it is a crime. It is not only an economical or a social problem, but it is an ethical and an environmental problem where millions are going hungry and in the modern era. So, where does this food wastage occur from? It is from the food industry, the food production, the community level and in the household. In the food industry and in the production, it is mainly during harvesting, it is during storage or during handling the food. And in the community level, it is mainly from the canteen or cafeteria, the hotels, during weddings, or even the social gatherings. And in the household level, it is mainly from our plate that we take and we do not eat, and it is getting wasted. Or it may be due to spoilage, due to extra buying, and maybe improper storage, and also due to handling of food. So, according to Agricultural Ministry, it says that 50,000 crores of food is being produced, but it is getting wasted and not for use. Actually, we have enough food that the world is producing, but it is not reaching and completely getting wasted. So, what are the things that you need to do? The first and foremost thing is that serve enough and make finishing the plate a habit. Don't bulk buy. Don't prepare in bulk so that it gets left over. If the food gets left over, then prepare a new dish along with it or use it in the beginning. Then don't unnecessarily buy things in the supermarket. Then plan your meal well in advance so that you will be able to do your shopping better. Then if the food gets spoiled, then compost it. In the social gatherings, don't waste or don't throw the food that is left over. You can choose places like orphanages and provide it to them. Finally, I would like to say, love food, don't waste it. And I would also like all of you to take a pledge and say no to food wastage. Thank you.